you're ready.
All right, the chickens are ready. They're talking.
They have not stopped since we started.
Yeah, so this is exciting. So my name's Sheriden Hansen, and I am an assistant professor of horticulture. And you are?
I'm Karson Anderson, and I'm in Davis County, and I'm their 4-H program coordinator.
Yeah, so we are my chicken coop.
Yes, and this chicken coop has a name. What is your chicken coop's name?
The coop's name is Cluckingham Palace, like Buckingham Palace, but Cluckingham, because we have a lot of British roots, and so we decided to go with that and name it Cluckingham. So that's why it's kind of fun. So that's why you see the Union Jack, or the little British flag flying over here, and we've got pictures of, you know, princesses and things inside the coop, because these are our girls, and we really think that they are really special and should be treated like queens and princesses, don't you think?
I think so, and Sheriden does a very good job of treating her chickens like royalty.
My mom helps a lot, so we need to give her a lot of credit too. So
she was bumping the tripod and you're getting a little shake.
She's making things shaky.
She wants to be on screen.
This is one of the farm cats. So we get a lot of cats dumped up here where we live. And so this is Poon, and she's an outdoor kitty. She comes inside at night in the garage, but she eats a lot of mice, and she's part of our rodent control program around the coop. So
smart.
She's a beauty.
We have a lot of kitties. So all the ones that get dumped, if we can catch them, we spay them and neuter them and make sure they don't reproduce and cause more of a problem, but we try and give them a good home and food and a place to be. So yeah.
So today we're going to talk about chicken coops and what you need in a coop. But we did this at this timing because we're super excited for Baby Animal Days that will be happening next Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th. So get excited to come see lots of baby animals, including chicks.
And
next
bunnies.
Week. Yes.
And goats and
pigs,
sheep and pigs,
lambs,
horses,
calves,
all kinds of stuff.
I've brought my kiddos a few years, and they love that. We don't have space. We don't live in a place where we can have chickens. Our city doesn't allow them, and they love that opportunity to get to interact with the baby chicks and pet them. And
it's really fun for kids.
It's so fun.
And I think it's so educational, and I think it's so important to teach our kids the importance of animals and how they should be taken care of. You know, and that we have that disconnect from our food. And I've taken chickens to elementary schools and totally freaked out kids because they're like, why would you have a chicken? And I said, well, where do you think chicken nuggets come from? And then the kid was like, I'm never eating chicken nuggets again. And I was like, well, maybe that's good.
But we do. We have to educate these people who don't have the opportunity to learn hands-on.
Right, and to be grateful for what our animals do for us. Our animals do a lot for us, and we need to remember that they are just a wonderful part of our whole existence here. So yeah, but get excited about Baby Animal Days. That's why I have these ridiculous glasses on.
I'm
gonna take mine off so they don't
too.
annoy me the whole time.
Maybe, yeah.
So
I don't know. They're kind of comfy. We can wear them for a long time.
They are pretty cute. So we've got some new people tuning in. Tell them where we are and what we're doing.
Okay, so we are live at my coop. This is Cluckingham Palace is the name of our coop. And we're going to show you, okay, so this is kind of, Marta Nilsson is with us for marketing. We did not introduce Marta, and I apologize.
Hi guys.
Marta is awesome, and we're so glad that she's here doing this with us.
The voice behind the curtain.
She is. Sometimes she's in front of the curtain, and she's super cute. So we're going to be talking about this chicken coop. We're going to go through this, but we've been calling this one kind of the Barbie dream house of chicken coops.
It's a palace for a chicken.
Yeah, we're going to show you another option too, and you might be somewhere in between, or you might have an even better palace than I have, and that's just fine.
Yeah, and so we're going to go inside, and I'll try and get some good shots of the outside as well, so you can see this gorgeous. It's nicer than my house.
No, I don't think so.
There's a chandelier.
There is a chandelier.
So as we walk into the coop, just a fun little icebreaker. Tell us in the comments how you like your eggs.
Yeah, how do you like your eggs? How do you like your eggs?
Over easy.
You don't like them Cadburied?
No.
Oh,
no.
Good one. I like them chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate is good. I like mine over medium. So
I'm an over easy girl too, Karson.
Yeah.
Really good. I like to dunk my toast, but I don't like it to be too runny. Yeah.
I like that sauce. I like it saucy.
Yes, saucy.
Okay. So
right,
type in the comments. How do you like?
As we go in,
yeah.
If you have questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. Or if you want more information, type info and we'll send you some information.
We'll send you information on chicken coop specifically.
Yes.
Some of the things that you need to have. So we have through campus, and his name is on chicken coops, and we would love for you
And
to
it
get
will
to
have-
know him through that writing and what he does. And
Yeah. And it will have dimensions and things like that to help you prepare for what you need in your backyard.
Yeah.
But let's go in.
Let's go in.
So type in the comments how you like your eggs. Stepping inside the grand foyer. We'll show.
Kind of show what we've got here. We'll kind of give you, some ideas as we walk through here. The first thing that we probably should talk about, though, is the security of your coop. And where I live, I'm kind of out where we have raccoons. We have a fox problem here. We have coyotes. We've had all kinds of animals, like you name it. We've had skunks. So making sure your chicken coop is secure is a big issue. You want to make sure you can lock your girls up at night. I know a lot of people that let their chickens roost in trees during the night, and that is never a good idea. They're out, they're exposed, and most of these predators show up in the evening hours. So you can see we have a door here that will close, and we just bungee it open in the daytime, but this door will close and will actually completely latch so that nothing can get in here. I also have this really hefty wire. It is really beefy wire. And we ran this so that we could get good ventilation. So ventilation is really important in a chicken coop. We've got to have some air circulation for these girls to keep it cool, to make sure that we don't have disease build up in the air. So making sure you have ventilation is good. So we had to have something where the air could move, but we also have to keep those critters out. I wish we would have used a little bit smaller gate or smaller hole size.
Some little birds can still fly in.
So we have sparrows that come in if you're worried about avian flu. That can be a problem, but our chickens free range, so they're out all the time.
Anyway.
So I'm not too worried about it at this point, but it is a possibility of something that could happen for me. We could contract something like that. So security.
So, and something else when we're talking about security is your flooring. In here, Sheriden has a cement floor.
I do.
And I like cement floors. It prevents things from hopefully burrowing under and living under your floor, but nothing can dig in. So you don't have to have a cement floor, but it's very, very beneficial and easy to clean.
Speaking of easy, we have some responses.
Okay.
First of all, Aubrey's here with us. Hi, Aubrey.
Hi, Aubrey.
Thanks for watching. Kirk says, "Holy chicken mansion, Batman."
Yeah, we went a little overboard. We love our girls, and my mom has always wanted chicken, so this is actually on her property, and we went the whole 9 yards for her on this one, and I helped build it, and my husband is a carpenter, and he helped build it too. So between the two of us and putting up all these beams and rafters and
and this yard is beautiful.
it is
Sheriden.
pretty.
It is
There's
so
things that
pretty.
we need to fix. It's never perfect.
And I
but
think sometimes people think of chickens as like an eyesore, like that's a farm thing. I don't want that in my beautifully landscaped yard. But this building, like there are ways to do it
there are ways
that
to
are
do it.
really nice looking.
Backyard friendly.
It doesn't have to be this big. So I'm going to show you a chicken tractor at the end. So I lived in Kaysville for a while on a 1/4 acre lot, and I had this little chicken tractor in my backyard. I had a beautiful backyard, and I just moved the chickens around, and it works great. And it doesn't have to be an eyesore in your backyard.
No.
So we talked about the floor, but if you're not going to put in a floor like this, I did want to say that to keep things from burrowing under, if you can put like some stainless steel or some kind of metal that goes down into the ground, so that when something tries to burrow, it hits
Something solid.
a metal barrier, or you can use cinder blocks. You can use, there's all kinds of things that you can use. So you don't have to have the cement floor. You can do it right on the soil.
On the dirt, yes.
Yeah. And we talked about cleaning a little bit. Cleaning is so important.
Scraper.
Yeah, so this is one of the reasons why we have a cement floor, because we have quite a few chickens. We have about 40 chickens right now, so there's a lot. And you can see they're not in here. They're outside. They're free ranging. They're having a good time.
They're
But
taking care of the bugs.
they are.
Yes.
They're taking care of the bugs, and they're eating all kinds of weeds and things and plants that maybe they shouldn't eat. And,
Yes.
but we have this scraper that we use, and we come through and we scrape
Do that
every single day.
Do that again.
So I don't have a lot of. We just cleaned it. So, but we'll. right here, so these panels kind of overlap this this wood piece, and so we can just screw them down and they'll stay. And we do almost the whole thing. We leave, I think we leave 2 panels, these 2 front ones we leave, so that there's still ventilation in the winter, but it keeps it from getting super cold.
Oh, great.
So, and something else, because in springtime it's hard. You might have a couple good weeks, and then we have, like yesterday we had snow. So let's walk over here and show them something that will help
This is
with
one
that.
of the things that keeps them warm in the winter.
And if there is a cold spring night, we can lock them up in something like this.
Yeah, so this is where they roost. Chickens have got to have a place to roost where they can get up off the ground. They sleep roosting, and so they prefer something like this. But this, we can actually close the doors, and we do in the winter, on the cold winter nights. And you can see we have a light in here.
Do all your chickens really fit in there?
They do.
40?
Well, we've got some that will hang out on the other side too, but for the most part, they snuggle in here tight, and it keeps them so warm. So we'll close this. Bye! You're going to be stuck in there.
Rebecca, I see your question. We are going to get to that in just a minute. She's asking about scratching with the concrete floor. We will get to that, so stay tuned.
So we can actually close this up and make this predator-proof too, and make it so that nothing can get in there. So if we've had problems with a predator or something scary, we can make sure our chickens are super safe that way too.
So something in here that we want to talk about before we move on. If you can see this, Marta, there is a heat lamp in this area. In the wintertime, it's important to have an area that your chickens are going to be able to stay warm. And a heat lamp provides 1, lighting, and 2, warmth.
Look at that beautiful guy in there. Or girl.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
There is a rooster that's that same color, but
There is.
that is not
His
him.
name is Kong, like King Kong.
He is big. Maybe we'll try and get a picture of Kong.
We'll try and show you Kong. But these can be a fire hazard, and I know we've had people comment before, like with concerns about that being a fire hazard. So you can see ours is up, off the ground. There's no way it's going to be in contact with the straw.
It's not hung by the cord.
No, it is hung properly. So yeah, not hung by the cord, but we have a different string holding it up. And we'll turn that on at night in the winter. And in fact, we'll actually keep it on all day during the winter too. And we'll just make it so they have this warm spot. We'll close the door so there's just a little opening where they can get in and out during the daytime during the winter. And they can stay warm.
Okay.
So
So Jason is requesting info. Awesome!
great!
If you want the fact sheet on chicken coops written by our poultry specialist for USU Extension, David Frame, type in the comments, I want the info, and we will send that to you.
Yeah, we would be happy to. It's really well written, so we would love to send it to you. It would give you some good ideas.
Yes. So, backyard chickens, why do we have them?
Eggs!
So, everyone wants a fresh egg. So, let's talk about where our chickens are going to lay their eggs.
Yeah, let's do it. So
So,
we've tried a number of different ways. So, and this is the way that is working for us really well right now. We've had wood boxes, so like nesting boxes. We've had bushel baskets, and we found that with the wood, that mites will actually live inside the wood, and will can cause some disease problems with our chickens because the mites get up underneath the scales on their legs, and we end up with scaly, nasty legs. So we've switched to plastic. And you can see we just have buckets, and they'll jump in here, and they're weighted. So we have a brick in the bottom.
So they won't tip over.
Yeah, they won't tip over.
Are those fresh eggs, or are those?
These are fresh eggs.
Do you put the wood egg in there?
I don't, because our chickens don't go clucky that often. At least that's what I call it, broody. It's broody. I call it clucky.
I like that. You know, she went clucky.
Yeah,
she's
she went
a
clucky.
little clucky.
No, you're good. So you can see that brick goes in there, and that's going to hold it and weigh it down, because sometimes they'll stand on these edges, and they'll knock the buckets over. So
They have to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got fresh eggs.
Yes.
How often should we collect our eggs, Karson?
Every day.
Every day. This is really important.
So, and you'll see, this is an off color. Usually when you go to the store, you're going to buy a white egg. Chickens can lay multiple different color of eggs. These are just a light brown, tan egg, but there's even a blue and green egg. So there's some fun colored eggs if you got into
really
it.
dark copper eggs from
Yeah.
Copper Marins, which we have a couple Copper Marins, but I don't have their egg out here. Oh, look, we've got a lighter colored one. So, yeah, you can see they come all different.
Okay, if you haven't answered already, type in the comments, how do you like your eggs?
Yeah, how do you like your eggs? And if you want more info, type in more info, and we'll give you chicken coop things, like ideas and specs and what to do in your coop. So these these wash out really well, and we will clean these out often. And making sure you get your eggs out pretty quickly keeps them from getting nasty, because they will poop in there sometimes, and you want to get the eggs out so they're nice and clean.
How often do you clean out those buckets?
Those buckets we clean out every morning when we clean the coop. We'll go through and we'll pick out any nasty straw. Our ducks are here. Our ducks are visiting us.
Do you guys want to see the ducks?
We'll pick out any poop and make sure it's nice and clean for when they lay.
Should we show them the ducks?
Show them the ducks.
Are these part of the farm, or are these
these are
visitors?
Part of the farm. They actually stay out here with the chickens, and that's a pair. So they're like a mating pair. They stick right close to each other. So they're really fun. They do tear up your yard a lot more than chickens do. I will tell you that.
So as we go throughout, we're going to be talking, and just an example of these nesting boxes that Sheriden uses. There's lots of different ways to do it, so it's not the only way. I have wood boxes still, but when you have 40, it's hard to keep under control. There's a lot of diseases that can happen. So the more chickens you have, you want to make it really, really easy to clean.
Here's my question. How many buckets do you have? You have 40 chickens, but that's not 40 buckets.
No, I have 5 buckets, and they'll pick a bucket that they kind of like, that's their favorite. So each chicken kind of has her favorite spot to lay, and they'll rotate. They take turns coming in and laying, so they're not on top of each other, and they kind of respect each other's space. At least in this setting, they do.
Yes. But space, it's important to have a lot of space.
It
The
is.
more chickens you have, the more space you need, and that's why these guys, it's healthy to go out and let them roam.
It is. If I was to keep those 40 chickens in here all the time, I mean, technically, I have enough space to keep them locked up all the time. But they start to peck at each other. We start to have more problems. So giving them.
House, I'm telling you. There's 3 rooms. You have one here, and
Another room over here. And
let's walk back there.
through.
we have even decorations if you haven't noticed.
Yes, it's very cute.
My
Curtains.
mom loves her coop.
Well, I think anyone who had this coop would love it. It is gorgeous.
And you can see we
Come
can
over
shut
here.
this. We can close this off from the other side. So this is kind of, we use this as a nursery. So when we introduce new chickens out with that pecking order, it's hard to get it established without getting some blood and some maiming. And the chickens are really fierce. It's kind of a lot like high school girls, which is not an understatement, I'm telling you. We use this as this nursery so that our little chickens can come out. They can get used to being outside. The big girls can see them through this door, and they can kind of introduce themselves slowly to
Kind
each
of get
other.
the same scent.
Yeah.
Smell going on.
And then we also keep our bantams over here. So bantams are small-sized chickens.
We need to see one of the bantams.
Yeah, there's quite a few. They're hanging out under the tree behind you. And bantams are known to be a little bit more fierce, a little bit more mean. We have a little bantam rooster named Thunder, and he is a jerk. He is truly a jerk. And he's this big, and he has little man syndrome so bad. He thinks that he is so huge.
He's not gonna win.
No.
Wait, what's his name?
Thunder.
Thunder. I was gonna say you should name him like George Costanza or something.
So Sheriden was saying these chickens will find their own place. So she starts her bantams in here, and you notice she has smaller nesting boxes for them. So make sure your nesting boxes are appropriate size for their size.
They like to be kind of in there tight when they lay. They like to have this little secure area where they feel really protected because they're kind of vulnerable when they sit down to lay an egg. So, right.
So if you were to see a chicken in a box, there's no room for them to move except for sitting.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And you can see we have another heat lamp in here. So we can keep these girls warm too. And then as soon as we can integrate them, if we've brought in new chickens in the spring, we'll integrate them as soon as we can. And everybody kind of goes to that side. But sometimes those little girls need some space. Or if we have a chicken that has a disease or a problem, she's not feeling well, we can put her in here too. It's a great way to separate. You need to have a space a way to separate. And you may not have a separate chicken coop, but you might have one of those big dog kennels. Works well sometimes if you've got a chicken that's sick and you can put her in there for a while and watch her really close.
Your nursery's bigger than my chicken coop, so.
So if you were just tuning in, thanks for joining us. We are touring the Chicken Dream House coop right now.
Cluckingham Palace.
Josh, thank you for tagging someone in your comment. If you know someone with chickens, give them a tag. Let them see this beautiful coop.
We would love to have them join
Are we going to go see the dusting area?
Yeah, let's go see the dusting area, and then we need to go see the chicken tractor too to show you the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
The
And
tiny
how they both
home.
work.
We've got the dream house and the tiny homes.
Dream house and the tiny home. It's kind of like a mobile home camper. Okay. Here we go.
There's our
Can you help
Union
her?
Jack.
Okay. So this is the back side of the coop. And this is just so that they can dust. This is so they can sit down and dig that little hole and fluff the dirt up around them in the wintertime. In the summer, they tend to dust out in the yard, and it makes my mom really angry because they dig up her yard.
So I'm just going to show you. There's some food out
We do
here.
have some feeders out here. We found that the less we keep the food in the coop, the cleaner it stays. So we'll limit how much food they get. So they just got fed before you came. But they'll come back and they'll feed and then they'll go outside for the day. Yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. But you can see this is covered. So we don't get a lot of moisture in here. We will get a little on the edges. But again, this is ventilated so that we can get some good airflow through here. So Carson's going to walk you right over to the waterers.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
I didn't even realize that's what those
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
something I want to point out about, whoa, watch out for the
Hi.
tree. These water.
I think
if you-
JD would call those dumb branches, right?
Yes,
You might.
That's true. And he would cut them off.
He would, but
We won't. Okay.
yeah.
So this water can probably hold about 5 gallons, right?
Yep.
So there's always should be plenty of water, but if you look closely, only a certain amount of water is allowed out at a time, and that's something important when you're watering your chickens. Some people will put out a big tub. Well, the chickens might dump in it, or a lot of mud and dirt gets in it. You want it to be as fresh as possible, and so having a water like this that only lets a certain amount out at a time will help keep it fresh.
That's true. And we do have some big pans of water for the ducks because they like to get in the
Yeah,
water.
and ducks need to do that.
So this kind of keeps the chicken water separated from the duck water.
So, and also, we haven't seen any food or water in the coop, so make sure if you have them outside that at nighttime, you move
bring it
some
in.
water in,
Yep.
because they should have 24 access to that fresh water.
And we do.
So,
These have handles,
nice and easy to move in
so
and
we
out.
can move these in and out. It does. We're
Keeps
all
the
about
coop
keeping the
cleaner.
coop clean.
Yes.
So
So it's a little extra work to move it, but
It
then
is.
you save yourself the work.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And chickens are work, and that's something that I think we kind of forget. We're like, oh, we want chickens and we want to have this little backyard farm, but there's work associated with it, and you're going to be out there every day, even in the winter, in the cold months, breaking ice off your water buckets, making sure that they're fed, making sure that they're warm. You're always going to run into some problem with a chicken. Either she gets egg bound or she's through. So just remember that chickens are work, and I expect you, and I know Karson expects you too, to be good chicken owners.
Yes. Seen the palace.
That's the palace.
Let's go look at something more of a backyard scale, and then you guys can try making your coops for what meets your needs.
Right, and you can go somewhere in the middle. You can Google chicken plans. There are 1 million chicken coop plans online, and you can find out all kinds of things. So we want to remind you again, if you want some specs on how to build a chicken coop, all of the details that you need to be looking for, to type info in the comments, and we'll get you a fact sheet sent right to you. Yeah. Which will be kind of nice for you.
I'm dying to see a bantam. Can we try and see a bantam before we go over there? 'Cause they're over here.
Okay, Thunder is right there under the tree, being very fierce and gray. Do you see him? And they're dusting. This is what they do.
It might be hard to see. I don't know if our viewers are going to see because it's kind of, it's
kind
really
of
bright.
Yeah, so Thunder is this gray one. Oh, he's walking backwards. So he is.
Are they way under there?
Yeah, they're under here. Oh, and the bantams are fast. They're really hard to catch, but maybe you can see. They kind of like to hang out under the trees because they're protected. We get a lot of hawks up here. We've had eagles up here. So making sure that they have places where they can hide. And what's really cool is when we'll have like an eagle fly over that's looking to have a chicken dinner, you'll hear the rooster make a really specific call, and all the girls will come right to him and they'll go right under the trees.
That's
or
pretty
into
cool.
the coop. So he's there to protect them. I really like having a rooster. If you can have one, I would highly suggest it. Some places you can't have one, but we're kind of in an agricultural area, so we can do that.
It's really loud.
But they do also keep the girls kind of under control, which is kind of nice. So they keep them from pecking on each other. They just kind of keep order in the coop. I really like having a rooster.
They're pretty too. All right, should we go see that the little coop?
Let's go do it.
There's one last shot of Cluckingham Palace.
Marta, if you look over here, there's a hen bantam.
Oh yeah, we saw a rooster. There's a little black one over here. You might be able to see her a little better. She's right behind the cat.
Can you guys see that little chicken?
She's just a little bantam. So
she's right in the shade. It's hard to see, but they're
about half of a normal chicken size.
They're like a little half size. So here's Cluckingham Palace. There's the rooster.
There's the rooster. You can hear him.
Aubrey says she votes for scrambled eggs. So we've got a few for over easy, one for scrambled, one for over soft.
My second runner-up would definitely be chocolate, I'm telling you. So this is what we call a chicken tractor. It's mobile, and you can see it's got wheels down below, and I threw 2 chickens in here. They're not happy with me right now.
There's the wheels. You can see 2 chickens.
Carson's going to show you how it kind of moves a little bit.
They're thinking, why does everyone else get to roam around and we're stuck?
So one of the things about this is not very predator-proof for somebody digging under. And that is one issue you're going to run into, those problems.
And you can still put a floor in there. It just makes it harder to move around.
Yeah, it makes it heavier. And this is not a light thing. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
You lifted it.
So
I can lift it and drag it, but you have to be ready to do that.
Yeah, it's easier to pull than it is to push.
I think I've seen some smaller than that
there
too,
are
though.
Some that are smaller. So I had about 4 chickens that I had in here because I was living in a very urban place. I had to have my girls, and by dang, I wasn't going to be without them. So I had built this.
Let's talk about something important when you have a smaller coop. So we looked at the palace where we could walk in, 10 people could go in. We can't go in this coop, or at least very easy.
No, I used to have my youngest child go in to
send
grab
the children in.
So
whatever.
this is a door
send the kids in.
for the chickens, but now you've got to collect the eggs and you've got to keep it clean. So this is the door that you can put chickens in and out.
And if you need to send a small child in to grab a chicken.
Oh, I thought you were going to say for punishment.
Oh.
No. This is how we would access. So up here, but
Easily collect those eggs.
Yep.
If you make your eggs difficult to get
set with yourself, and it's going to become a really easy to keep clean. So I just have this small area with straw. I have, this bigger area underneath that I can move. I can just pick this up and move it around. There is a ladder in here for the girls to go up and down so that they can easily get to the nesting area. And then in the winter, when it's cold, this is hard. But we would tarp it and try and contain as much warmth in there as we could. And we put it in a sheltered spot, and this didn't move in the yard in the winter.
Right.
We put it in a place where it wouldn't ruin the grass. It was sheltered, tarp it, try and keep it as warm as possible.
You would still have a light.
I would still have a light.
So even if you have a mobile coop, you're going to need somehow to get electricity to it in the winter.
Yeah, and I would just run an extension cord and hook a light
Right
and
there.
keep this nice and warm inside as much as possible.
So when you're building your coop, how am I going to get electricity? Because you will have to have a heat lamp or at least some kind of light.
Yeah, and it may just be an extension cord in the winter. It may be one of the outdoor extension cords that can run in the winter, but just something to keep it warm. Or you use a heat mat. One of those mats is a great idea. Then you don't run the risk of starting this little tiny coop on fire.
Yeah.
So of ways to do this. So this just kind of shows you one extreme and the other, and both work.
And then have fun building it.
I
Make
know.
it to what you want it to be, and so it's fun to have in your yard.
Yeah, make it enchanting for you. And I really think chickens are one of those you like to visit it. It will really help you with your chicken chores.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there any questions? I know someone asked something about scratch.
Oh, so with the concrete floor, how do you provide scratching areas for them? When you've got the concrete floor?
we did answer that. We have an area out in the back, and then our chickens free range, where not everybody's can, but you do have to provide them a place to dust. Which with this one, I would just move it over to a place where they had access to dirt, and we did that all the time. We would just move it over to where there was some dirt.
So scratching and dusting go hand in hand.
Scratching and dusting go hand in hand. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No more questions. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. We're going to wrap it up here pretty quick. So send us your questions. We'd love to.
So those shows go on throughout the day. We'll have sheep shearing. Did we find somebody to do horse?
Yeah, we'll have horseshoeing.
Okay.
So.
Horseshoeing.
And it happens rain or shine.
Yep,
so
it does.
We'll be there.
Bring your umbrellas.
Yeah, and you can buy tickets at the gate too. If you don't know if you're going to be able to get there and you don't want to come and buy the tickets just at the gate. And we're at 80 East, 725 South is where we're located. You'll find us in Kaysville. Yep, in Kaysville.
I do have to say about buying at the gate. The word on the street is if you type info to get the fact sheet about chicken coops, you will also be getting a little coupon code for Baby Animal Days. So,
and then you could buy it beforehand with your code, or can you do that at the gate too?
I think it's for advanced purchase tickets through Eventbrite. So type info, we'll send you the fact sheet, and we would love to send you a little coupon code for Baby Animal Days.
That would be nice.
Come and visit us at Baby Animal Days. Karson is one of the big organizers of Baby Animal Days, and he's done an amazing job getting people there with animals and all kinds of fun things for your kids to do. Oh, there's a play area. A kids play area.
A play area and a train ride.
I'm going to be in the
and
play
a horse
area.
ride.
Food trucks.
Food trucks. We will have food trucks,
so.
and Chick-fil-A is coming. We've got all kinds of stuff. We have radio stations coming. It's going to be a blast.
Something for everyone in the family. So come and have some fun with us next weekend.
And you can meet these celebs in real life.
Woo! I don't know about celebs, but maybe crazy people.
Yeah, we are crazy.
Hey, we'll take them both. Well, Sheriden and Karson, thank you so much for that tour.
Thank you.
That is just the most gorgeous coop ever.
We hope you guys learned something.
I loved seeing that. And thanks to all of you who tuned in with us. We appreciate your comments. If you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends, tag someone, show them how cool Cluckingham Palace is, and you can type your questions in the comments. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.